Hi, Eduardo.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So I have our Eduardo Mantuca on the line, and he's the manager of Community Health Services, Community Solutions. And so, Eduardo, what is the member advisory board?
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity and just sharing more about Silver Summit Health Plan. And I would like to start off with a brief kind of description about our services, if that's okay, before we go into the
Okay.
member advisory board.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Silver Summit Health Plan, we are a managed care organization, or MCO for short,
Okay.
here in Nevada. We've been serving Clark and Washoe County since 2017, with any individuals, families, adults, children that have Medicaid here in our state. Recently, this year, early 2026, we expanded our services to our rural regions, which includes the two urban counties, Clark and Washoe, and the 15 rural communities as well. So, in other words, we are now serving Nevada across the state, alongside another managed care as well, which, together we're hoping to serve our Nevadans as much as possible, as best as we can, to provide coordination of care, and also accessing our value-added benefits and services. So now, to answer your question, going into the member advisory board, so Silver Summit Health Plan, we have these member advisory boards, or MABs for short,
Uh-huh.
every quarter, right? And so the goal is very simple, is we are trying to reach out to our members, Silver Summit Health Plan members, and have them join this meeting, whether if it's virtual through Zoom or in person as well. And where we want to hear from them, right? We want to hear feedback and how things are working out with Silver Summit Health Plan. What else can we do better to just provide better services? And this time we will be having our MAP meeting in Pahrump. So we're looking forward to it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay. So my next question is, why does Silver Summit hold member advisory board meetings in general?
Yeah, so it's really important for us to keep the communication going with our members, right? It's really, really exciting for us to understand what is working and what is not, right? So really, we want feedback from our members to see what we're doing right and what we could improve as we progress with this year, specifically in our rural community, since it's the first time, the first year we are out there, and it's really important to us to just pivot, modify our services, and reach as we see fit to better fit our members' lives.
Okay. And well, what kind of topics are discussed during this meeting?
Yeah. So we have a variety of topics across this meeting here. We invite local departments within Silver Summit Health Plan. Member Services attends, our pharmacy team also attends, our quality improvement team also makes a presence, and where we share topics relating to overall health, but also how to access certain benefits across Silver Summit Health Plan, right? So if members do have specific questions regarding their health, medically wise, we do stick around after for those in person, or we provide communication channels for them to reach out to us directly, since it is some HIPAA violations. We want to make sure that our
Right.
members are being safe with the information they share.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And so how does the member feedback from the meetings get used?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Across, throughout the meeting and across multiple counties that we're in now with these MAP meetings, we have a team designated to take notes and bring back any suggestions, any ideas, any concerns back to our leadership team so we can modify as we see appropriate, of course, right? So
Right.
we do take our members' feedback very, very important, and we value their feedback, and we report back on the following MAB meeting whenever we have it on the concerns or ideas or suggestions our members had. So we
Amazing.
take, yeah, we take close note on those suggestions.
That's great. That was a great answer for that.
Thank you.
Um, and what does the member advisory board mean for members?
Yeah, so it's been a great platform and where members' voices are heard, right? They could always call customer services or our customer services line, right? They could always email us, but it's different, right? If a member shows up in person and sees a real person in front of them, a face to face,
Right.
as busy as this world is moving, it's really important that we still keep that face-to-face interactions going. So it means a lot to our members in the sense that they could talk to a real person. We're real humans here at Silver Summit Health Plan. They're talking to real people, and most importantly, they're being heard on site, right? They don't have to go through automated system, press one, press two to get a hold of someone, right? We're right there in front of them. And quite frankly, any concerns they might have are addressed on site, right? Rather than having to call telephonically or email somebody.
Right.
So it means a lot. In addition to that, which is a perk or added bonus, right? We do provide some food and beverages for our Silver Summit Helpline members that attend. We understand that it's right in the middle of the day and we all have errands, right? Dropping off the kiddos to school or work. And so we want to make sure that we make it worth our members' time to show and provide feedback by providing some food and beverages there for them as well, for those in person.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can totally appreciate the in person because dealing with anything AI these days is really kind of, I still want to just talk to a regular person. So I totally get that. That's awesome.
Right.
How does this benefit Nevada communities, especially in the rural areas?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question as well. So, being that we are in rural Nevada, this is our first year. It's a learning year for us, right?
Right.
We understand that we're going to have some challenges. We are not always going to be great, right? We understand that, and that's the approach. And really, what this means to our rural communities is that we're willing to listen, right? We're willing to support. We're willing to modify things that need to be modified to better support our rural communities. So, for our partners out there in rural Nevada, from Elko all the way across Nye and Douglas and Lyon
Yeah.
County, right? We really, really much value their feedback, and without our partnerships and our members, we couldn't be doing this because those partners and members that live out there in rural communities are the true source of truth, if you will, right? They
Right.
know what needs to be improved within their own communities. So we try our best to make those changes as we can.
That's amazing. Definitely. Um, and what makes the meetings valuable compared to other feedback methods?
Yeah, so like I was mentioning, I think till this, I know with technology advancing and to your point,
Mhm.
AI, nothing beats the face-to-face interaction, right?
Exactly.
So I feel like that's the most valuable part and component of these meetings, that having that face-to-face interactions and addressing things in real person, right? Live, rather than having to email someone, general mailbox, or calling somebody telephonically, right? So we address things there. If a member needs support accessing their services, our team stays, until the very end and plus more to make sure that we're helping our members on site. So yeah, that face-to-face interaction, it's really what's valuable.
Right. Definitely. I completely agree with that. Can you share an example of how member feedback has made an impact?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of examples, right? So, I'll give you two. I'll give you an example in where we were here in Vegas last year,
Right?
where one of our members showed with her daughter, which also a member, and she just kind of shared her testimony and how meaningful these meetings are because she was able to receive care on site, getting her connected with the proper doctors, specialists, and really just impacting her overall health for the better, right? So she shared that during a meeting last year. And this year, right? Because we also get the hey, you need to improve on this. Also, it's like I said, right? I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. We're learning, right? And we do have some challenges. But to give you another example, we were in a rural community earlier this year up in Elko County, right? And so we were having these map meeting, and we were having some issues with some network, right? So this member brought up this concern. And
Uh-huh.
so we escalated right away to our leadership, and where we were able to contract that doctor that was not in network for our member, right? So although it was a very challenging process at first for our members, unfortunately, them addressing this to us, we were able to escalate very, very quickly and get that provider and network right away. So it's proven to work because as we listen, as we write down suggestions, we're also acting upon it.
Awesome. Okay. And how does Silver Summit ensure members feel comfortable sharing their feedback?
Yeah, another great question. I really do think it's our staff, right? So, our community health workers, which is part of the team I support, and our community outreach specialists, we're very culturally diverse, right? So we are local staff living within Vegas, Reno, Elko, Pahrump, and across the state, so we understand the flow of certain communities across Nevada, and so we understand that we all have struggles. We've been through difficult situations ourselves,
Right.
and so we're welcoming, right? So we understanding that our services could need a little work and improve. We just open for that feedback, letting our members know that their feedback is valuable, will be acknowledged, and also very important, not over promising, right? Because
Right.
oftentimes across businesses across the nation or worldwide, right, we tend to over promise things just to keep membership or whatnot, right? So here at
Right.
Silver Summit Health Plan, and I'm very proud of that, is that if we don't have a solution there, we make it very clear, hey, we don't have a solution right now, but let me circle back with you, let me get back to you, right?
Right.
Or hey,
Right.
unfortunately, we cannot do this because this isn't right. Always providing a reason on why not. But hey, this is another alternative, right? So just being transparent, very transparent, very open to communication is very
Right.
important to us. And just sharing empathy and sympathy with our members. Hey, I know how you feel, or hey, I'm feeling with you. It's really important for us.
Yeah, that's definitely important these days for sure, because there's not much of that going on in the world anymore. What would you say to a member considering joining the advisory board?
Yeah, so I encourage all of our members to consider joining these meetings because it's a great platform in where our members could speak up on the goods, on the not so goods, on Silver Summit Health Plan, right? And
Right.
because we have a team dedicated to respond, to follow up, and to address any concerns or suggestions our members may have. The whole goal of this meeting is just it's that is collecting member feedback. So if our members hearing this